Welcome to a video where I can help you figure out if you need a game in 10 minutes or less. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. My name is miahtheking, and I was reading a book on anti-gravity this morning. It was impossible to put down. Thanks so much for clicking on my video. I hope you liked my joke. Today we're taking a look at a game just released on Steam called Of Ash and Steel, a third-person RPG adventure game developed by Fire and Frost and published by Tiny Build, released not in early access and selling for $30. So, what even is this game, and is it even worth it? Well, let's find out together. So, you play as Tristan, in a world with 7 kingdoms, 7 islands, and 1 king/god who united all of them. Tristan is a cartographer. In other words, he makes maps. He's hired to accompany this order of specialized troops who are on their way to an island threatening to declare independence or something like that, when suddenly everything goes horribly wrong. Now it's up to you, a lone peasant, to save the day. Now, as always, let's go into the good and the bad, followed by my final thoughts. And today's video is going to be a bit different from the others as I try out something new, so let's see if you can figure out what it is. But right now, we're going to talk about the number one thing about the game that everyone is actually interested in, the gameplay. Since this is what you're going to be experiencing the entire time, it's the most important, so the gameplay. Is it any good? Well, yes and no. There are times where the gameplay is decent and times where it's completely awful. Let's start with what I liked about the gameplay. There's dialogue options, skills, traits, attributes, and different dialogue options based on your attributes, and I liked that, rather than having it grayed out saying, whoops, you didn't have enough. No, instead it just reveals things you already have unlocked due to the attributes, and I actually really like that, as opposed to the other games where they'll show you all the options, but you can't do this one, that one, or this one because you don't have the right stats, because that's just annoying sometimes, and you're like, oh, I should have put it in this. Anyway, the game comes with a lot of mini-games and features as well. For instance, it has cooking, crafting and workbenches, fishing, and setting up your very own little camp, as well as cooking. I put that in here twice for some reason. Ah, well, who cares? Anyway, the point is it's got all these different types of little mini-games in there that just really help to try to give you a more immersive experience. It's fairly open world, too, with the ability to pretty much explore any random direction you want, which is nice for those of us who actually like to do so. And the idea of progressing in a very hard, realistic game world similar in style and difficulty to, say, Kingdom Come Deliverance is also a nice idea. However, now we gotta go into what I didn't like about the gameplay, and that's mainly the combat. There's a few other kinks as well, but we're going to those later. For now, I hate the combat. I hate everything about it with every inch of my body. It's very poorly designed. Even if it wasn't really hard, I'd have the same opinion. For instance, when you're fighting in battle and need to heal your character, he just pauses and drinks his potion mid-fight, like he literally just stops what he's doing and starts drinking his potion. He cannot dodge, cannot block or move, and you can't even interrupt him. So let's say you accidentally hit the button. Well, guess what? You're screwed now. So enemies will just keep hitting you whilst you're using your potion, thus making it completely pointless. The enemies are much faster than you, they hit much harder than you, and the combat is very awkward and hard to manage because of how slow your character moves and how awkwardly he moves in combat. Now, of course, there are some people out there who will say, much like they did in Kingdom Come Deliverance, you're just some peasant, you don't know how to fight, so it makes sense that you need to build yourself up. Except, that argument doesn't hold any sway here, because in the dialogue, it is literally stated your character did in fact serve mandatory military service and did know how to handle a sword.
Did you do your military service on Tantaris?
Like everyone else. So, if you give me a sword, I can put it to use.
Therefore, that entire argument is already null and void. Let's also talk about how I'm not fighting trained soldiers, I'm fighting rats. Rats who are far superior to me in every single way in combat, causing me to almost die in every single encounter. Rats who have no armor, no weapons, no training. So again, that argument holds no weight. And don't even get me started on it if you try to fight anything else. It's just very slow, very awkward, and insanely annoying. I wasn't enjoying the combat at all, and since that's the crux of the gameplay, it kinda ruined everything else. Overall, the gameplay was below average, and it definitely needed some more work, and I consider it a big negative. It's awkward, confusing, difficult to manage, and poorly designed overall, even in terms of things like moving, jumping, climbing. It all just feels awkward. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the graphical quality and design. If you haven't already figured that out yourself, it's pretty bad. When I first saw my character and how gangly he was, I was actually a bit amused by how funny he looked. Later on in the cutscenes and whatnot, I ended up thinking to myself, maybe I'm not human. Maybe none of us are human. Maybe we're some other different race, because look at how tall and lanky we all are. Like, wouldn't that be funny if we thought we were human the whole time but we were some other race? But no, apparently you're all humans. In the cutscenes, watching the character's lips flap away without the dialogue to match made me chuckle. The hair physics and other artistic designs also caught me off guard. Overall, I just was not impressed with the graphical quality here at all. And even the animations were just a bit awful. Overall, not impressed. Now I'd like to talk about the mechanics and the controls. They're very poorly designed as well. Managing your user interface is annoying because of the certain controls and mechanics that you'd expect to work a certain way simply don't here. And the minigames aren't much better. I mean, I have never seen a worse or more confusing sword sharpening mechanic in my life ever playing a game. I could probably sharpen a sword better in real life than I could in this game, and I've never even been near a blacksmith. I have no idea what I'm doing, and the game described it very poorly. Obviously, I screwed it up and was quite frustrated. Did I mention the game just sets you free to explore and do whatever you want, but doesn't give you a map? Just some vague directions. Speaking of direction, the game almost has none. It's just go this way and talk to that guy. Good freaking luck finding your way to that guy in that place, I'm gonna tell you. With no map, stuck in the middle of a forest / mountainous region surrounded by monsters that could kill you very quickly, following up with the fact whenever you go into your inventory, the game doesn't pause around you. So if you're in your inventory and a wolf just jumps you out of nowhere, it's game over, you're screwed. Honestly, I have no idea what they were thinking. You don't fuck with classic game mechanics. Inventory screens means time out. It means no ambushing me. How else am I supposed to manage my inventory if there's a fear of being assassinated every single time I do? And then to add insult to injury, watch this. See, I'm just trying to get into the city. I finally found my way to the objective, at least I think this is the right objective. The guards want 200 gold for me to get in, and I don't have it. They turned me away. So I was like, you know what, let's try talking to them again and be more aggressive, because literally the guy who introduces you to this world and this place and the way things work, he's just all like, he led me to believe that this is a very harsh island, and you need to be harsh. It's dog-eat-dog world. If you don't be an aggressive, whatever, jerk, then you're going to be taken advantage of. So I was like, okay, I'll try to be aggressive. Maybe they'll respect me. And then, as you're watching now, the guards are attacking me, and they end up whooping my ass. But you know what else he did? He took my damn sword. And now I no longer have a sword for this insanely imbalanced game. Seriously, screw this game. Not only did it piss me off, they insulted me by taking away the only thing I had left in this world. In frustration, I jumped off a bridge in the water to end it all. And the last bad thing I want to talk about is the game's stability. The game never crashed or froze on me, so at least there's that, but the entire time I was playing, I was hit with frequent frame rate drops and even lag spikes, like I'm here 1 minute and then shot forward a few feet the next. Not even sure how they pulled that off, with a bunch of clipping here and there and other little weird things happening. And the game's frame rates just kept dipping on me so much. I was lucky it never actually happened during combat, because it would have killed me instantly. And I've heard even worse stories online from other unfortunate souls. So, like I said, none game-breaking for me yet, but definitely not stable. So, yeah. And alright, okay, so you know what? That's enough. Enough bitching about what the game did wrong. Now let's talk about the things that the game devs did right. But before that, if you're finding this video informative or entertaining, please consider showing me some love and support. Comment, like, subscribe, all of that helps me out a ton. But if you hit that notification button, it actually just helps you, because I'm trying to save you time and money with these vids by making myself suffer. So please consider showing me some support. Thank you. Okay, so I know I just ripped on the game a bit, but it didn't do everything terrible. For instance, the sound design here is actually not too bad. The voice acting is pretty good, at least from what I experienced and from what I heard, and honestly, I didn't think it sounded awful or cringy or out of place at all. The sound effects were also sounding pretty good, and the ambiance and overall musical effects were really good too, so at least they got that stuff right. Then there's the writing. I was actually more or less invested in my character and the world. I was curious and interested and really wanting to dive deeper into it. I was enjoying myself and the world and actually immersing myself. It actually wasn't bad, while at the same time being new and creative. Plus, the overall quality of the writing itself was pretty good too, despite the subtitles not always matching the spoken dialogue half the time. So yeah, it had good writing. There's also the price tag and the overall originality and creativity of the world. It's nice to see something different. They also decided to mimic other games in terms of hard realism, life of a peasant similar to Kingdom Come Deliverance or Gothic. That building up of skills through time and effort is a great idea. I just wish it was implemented better. The originality of the world and its ideologies and its history and lore was overall very interesting to me. And for everything that's there, as well as the fact that it's a fully finished game, plus the voice acting and replayability and freedom and whatnot, and that $30 price tag is actually looking pretty good. Honestly, no complaints about any of that at all. But those are really the only things I can think of that are worth mentioning positively about the game. And the thing is, I really tried to find more. I even looked at all the positive reviews on Steam, hoping maybe somebody could shed some light on why they liked the game. Maybe I missed something, or maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. But all of them were just blinded by nostalgia, reminiscing about Gothic, which is a super old school game, by the way. And I just don't understand it. Maybe my standards are higher. Maybe I've experienced far more games. But to me, this is a below average game. I don't care that it's a smaller studio. I don't care because they released a demo demo and they had time to fix it. I don't care because they didn't even release it in early access. This is supposed to be a fully finished game according to the Steam store page, and honestly, it just doesn't feel that great, and it felt like an early access game, more than some early access games feel. The combat is too hard and imbalanced, as well as designed awkwardly. The game is confusing as it plops you down in the middle of an open world forest where everything kills you instantly, even when sticking to the roads like an NPC suggested. It offers you optional quests right from the beginning, facing monsters you're never expected to beat at that level, and then the game sits there and steals your sword from you after you made a bad decision. I mean, I just don't get it. Don't get me wrong, like I mentioned, the dialogue isn't cringy, the writing isn't awful, and the voice acting isn't bad, but I personally felt that everything else with this game was below average. I don't feel like it's worth my time or my money, so I obviously don't recommend it. Maybe after it gets a few updates and patches, it'll smoothen it out a little bit, and maybe it'll be worth it then, and, you know, maybe you can... Also, I wanted to point out, you can decrease the difficulty to make it easier for you, but you shouldn't have to from normal to easy. But with the graphics, the glitches, the awkward controls, the awkward combat, and even if I did decrease the difficulty, I worry that I'm still not going to be having all that much fun. So, as of right now, my recommendation is no. Just move on. Maybe at most, add it to your wish list and just wait and see what happens to it in the future. But otherwise, yeah, I would pass on this one, honestly. It's just not ready yet. They should have released it in early access. They should have cooked it for another 6 months to a year before releasing it. So, that's all the time I got for this video, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, with a special thanks to those of you who stuck around to the end. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.